Today, we're going to talk about something that really gets to the heart of what it means to care for your family, even when you're no longer here. It's a story about foresight, faith, and what a final, profound act of love can truly look like.
Hi, I'm Ivan from Evergreen Life and Health Agency. Today, I want to step away from all the abstract stuff, policies and premiums, and share a very human story with you. It's about a woman named Eleanor and a personal decision she made that honestly speaks volumes about planning for the future.
This right here, this was Eleanor's quiet prayer, a simple but incredibly powerful wish that her family's last memories of her would be all about love and remembrance, not tainted by some sudden financial panic. This one sentence, it's the key to her whole journey.
So let's meet Eleanor. Picture this. She's 68, a widow, and she finds this really deep contentment in her faith, her church community. Her life is full of peace, full of purpose, mostly spent getting ready for her Bible study group.
But, recently a little thought started to creep in. And it wasn't a spiritual worry, it was a very practical one. She'd been to funerals, she'd seen it firsthand. Families, already heartbroken, now dealing with the shocking stress of paying for everything. And she started to think, what about my family?
And this worry? It wasn't even for herself. Not at all. It was for the people she loved most, her two grown kids. They have their own families, their own mortgages and bills to worry about. This was all about the legacy she was going to leave behind for them.
And that brings up a really important question for all of us, doesn't it? Eleanor knew the greatest thing she was leaving behind was her faith, but she just couldn't stand the idea of that beautiful legacy coming with a crushing, out-of-the-blue bill. What does that do to a family's final memory of you?
This verse from Proverbs, for her, it just clicked. It captured her thinking perfectly. See, for Eleanor, it wasn't just about leaving money. It was about being a responsible steward, about making sure the next generation was stable and taken care of.
So right then, her mission became crystal clear. Protecting her kids from that kind of financial shock, it wasn't just a smart plan. For her, it was one last service she could do for them, a final act of a mother's love.
Okay, so she knew why she needed to do this. Now it was time to figure out how. So she moved from the why to the how, and she started to do her research, looking for a real concrete way to make that prayer for peace a reality for her family.
And her research led her to this, a tool called Final Expense Insurance. Now, this isn't about building wealth or leaving some huge inheritance. It's a really straightforward policy designed for one specific, very important job, covering those immediate costs that pop up at the end of life.
So, what are we talking about here? Well, this kind of policy is built to handle things like funeral and burial costs, which, wow, can they be expensive. Plus any final medical bills that might be lingering, or other outstanding debts. It's really meant to tie up all those loose ends, so the family doesn't have to.
And to her huge relief, Eleanor discovered this wasn't some unattainable luxury. She found a policy where the monthly premium was actually modest, something she could totally manage, even on her fixed income. That peace of mind was genuinely within her reach.
And that moment, the moment she secured the policy, it was just transformative. It wasn't a business transaction, it was a resolution. It felt like her prayer was finally answered, like her house was finally, truly in perfect order. I mean, just look at this shift. Before, she had this constant, nagging worry in the back of her mind. And after, a profound sense of relief. That fear of being a burden on our kids, gone, replaced with genuine peace of mind. Financial uncertainty was traded for a legacy that she knew was secure.
And that's the real takeaway here, isn't it? She wasn't just buying a product. She was preserving the time and the emotional space her family would need. She was giving them this incredible gift, the ability to just grieve fully, without the panic of unexpected bills hanging over their heads. So as we kind of wrap up Eleanor's story, you can see her journey was about something so much bigger than just finances. It was about defining the kind of legacy she wanted to leave.
And this is exactly what she achieved. A final chapter that wouldn't be remembered for a burden she left behind, but for the same grace, the same love, and the same thoughtful care she'd shown her entire life.
Eleanor's story really shows us that planning for this stuff isn't morbid. It's an act of wisdom. It's a dignified act of love. And it ensures that the people you cherish most are protected from hardship when they're at their most vulnerable. And so that brings us to the final question. And it's not just for Eleanor. It's for every single one of us to think about. When it's all said and done, what story will our own final provisions tell? What will your legacy be?